In the thrilling final moments of the latest season of Top Boy, Sully finds himself in a heart-pounding situation. A gunshot suddenly rings out inside his car, spraying blood all over the windshield. The shot hits him in the head, leaving us with a chilling image of an unknown person, most definitely the killer, walking past the car. Now, the true identity of Sully's murderer remains a tantalizing mystery. The glimpse we get of the shooter is obscured by shattered glass, leaving us all to play detective. It's worth noting that Steph, who initially spared Sully, seems to be dressed like this enigmatic figure, hinting at a possible change of heart or ulterior motives. But oh, the theories are flying! Some say Jack might be seeking vengeance to protect her family, while others suspect Isaac might want payback. And let's not forget about the formidable McGee family, who might be out for revenge against Sully for his daring actions against them. However, what's truly fascinating is how the show leaves us hanging in suspense. It's almost like it's trying to tell us something deeper. In the gritty world of crime depicted in Top Boy, Sully, and Duchesne's destinies were always on a collision course with violence, regardless of who actually pulled the trigger. Their absence now echoes through the narrative, a haunting reminder of the never-ending cycle of brutality that underpins the entire series. Now that you're all caught up on Sully's cursed fate and tragic end, we can fully focus on the main purpose of the video, and that is cracking who might be the killer. Let's jump into the motives that different main characters could have had for carrying out the hit. Firstly, Jack had a big reason to go after Sully. So in the final season of Top Boy, we're hit with a real gut punch early on. Jack, this tough drug dealer, has her world turned upside down when her sister Lauren tragically dies. Lauren's story is heart-wrenching. Postpartum depression and a heroin addiction led to her drowning in the bathtub. Now, Jack, determined to keep her nephew safe from the same dark path, takes a drastic step. She goes behind her boss, the big-shot drug kingpin Sully, with the help of her buddy Kieran. Together, they break into Sully's safe house and swipe a ton of drugs. But here's where things get messy. Sully figures out Kieran's part in the heist and doesn't hold back. He has Kieran killed. Jack, seeing the walls closing in, makes a desperate deal with Sully. She agrees to return the drugs on one condition. She, her girlfriend Bex, and Lauren's baby get a free pass to start fresh, with no threats hanging over their heads. Sully says he'll think about it, but then comes a twist. Just when Jack's on her way to the drug exchange, she gets jumped by Duchesne, another big player in this gritty game. So she shows up empty-handed, and you can bet Sully's not thrilled. He tells Jack that their deal is off, and he's out for revenge, no mercy. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The last scene we get of Jack is her returning home to Bex and the baby. The immediate danger from both Sully and Duchesne seems to have passed. But the big question lingers. Will Jack stick to her word and leave the drug game for good, all for the sake of her nephew? Well, that's a mystery left for us, the viewers, to ponder. Moving on, Steph has one of the biggest motives to go after Sully. Okay, so remember how the last season of Top Boy left us all in shock? Sully straight up took out Jamie, who was supposed to be Duchesne's successor, right in front of Jamie's little bros, Steph and Aaron. Talk about intense. Now, fast forward to this final season and things are no less crazy. Steph's in foster care, while Aaron's off in Leeds working his thing. But Steph can't escape the shadow of Summerhouse and the ever-present fear of Sully, who's making his life a living nightmare. Steph and his crew, led by Simon, are under Sully's thumb. The whole season, Steph's been wrestling with this burning desire for revenge, and it all comes to a head in the final episode. He gets his hands on a weapon from Simon and finally faces off with Sully, right in a local park. He's got Sully at gunpoint, and he asks him, "How does it feel?" Sully, in a pretty broken state, replies, "Feeling left me a long time ago, Stefan." Then Sully tries to justify why he took out Jamie, saying it had to be done.
How does it feel?
It's like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But Steph, he's not having it. He lowers his gun and walks away, telling Sully, "You're not worth it." Now you'd think that's the end, but hold on to your seats. The story doesn't wrap up that neatly, leaving us all hanging with questions. What's next for Steph and Sully? Many fans are speculating that Steph wasn't done dealing with Sully as the showrunners initially hinted. A far shot, but could it have been the McGees? All right, here's another twist to consider. In the earlier episodes of the season, Sully and Duchesne run into this Irish clan, the McGees. These guys mean big business and want a piece of the action on Sully and Duchesne's turf. So Johnny and Taj, representing the McGees, try to strong-arm our main duo into some kind of partnership. But you know Sully and Duchesne, they don't take kindly to being pushed around. Instead of playing nice, they straight up take out Johnny and Taj, even swiping their stash of drugs while they're at it. And guess what? That very stash ends up in a crazy chain of events, from Jack to Duchesne and finally back to Sully. Here's the kicker, though. Despite all the talk about the McGees being this powerful, untouchable clan, our guys seem to get away with murder, literally. They kill 2 McGee members and swipe their stuff, and nothing seems to happen. Until Sully's murder. Could it be that this was some kind of payback from the McGees for what went down earlier in the season? It's a tantalizing possibility to chew on. But who killed Sully? Oh, the mystery of Sully's killer. Let's dig into it a bit more. Steph seems like the obvious suspect, right? He initially spared Sully, but who's to say he didn't have a change of heart moments later? The figure we glimpse does kind of look like Steph with that dark jacket and hood. But hold on, there are more options on the table. Jack had every reason to go after Sully. She knew her family wouldn't be safe as long as he was around. Maybe she took the shot herself or sent someone to do it to protect her own and avenge Kieran's murder. Isaac, he's another contender. He might have sent a hitman as payback for losing his 2 guys. And let's not forget about the McGees. Duchesne and Sully really messed with them, but strangely, they never retaliated. Maybe this was their way of settling the score. But hey, are we overthinking this? Steph's the most likely suspect, right? But then, why keep the killer shrouded in mystery? The creators of the show have left us with so many possible suspects and people who wanted to settle their score with Sully that it's really hard to pinpoint a single character that could have been the shooter. Maybe that's the point. Perhaps it doesn't really matter who pulled the trigger. In that world, Sully and Duchesne were bound to meet a violent end sooner or later. They're gone now, but the ripples of their actions will keep on spreading. The cycle of violence continues, and that's a haunting thought to end on. From what we've learned, Top Boy's world is all about crazy alliances, grudges, and power games. Well, when Sully met his end, it was a stark wake-up call. It basically tells us that payback can come from some seriously unexpected places and leaves us with a lesson to lead honest and honorable lives. That brings us to the end of today's video. Who do you think was behind Sully's brutal murder? Do let us know in the comments box below. And if you haven't yet, then please like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. We'll see you in the next one.